So it goes something like this. The key to success in endeavor is the ability to lead others successfully. I'm sorry, I just have to put this down so I can. The key to success in an endeavor is the ability to lead others successfully. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Whenever I make that statement, that listeners are tempted to change it to almost everything rises and falls on the leadership. Most people have a desire to look for the exception instead of the desire to become exceptional. Right now, you lead a certain skill level. For the sake of teaching this principle, let's say that on a scale of 1 to 10, your leadership skills reach the level of 6. This is what I know. The effectiveness of your work will never rise above your ability to lead and influence others. You cannot produce consistently on a level higher than your leadership. In other words, your leadership skills determine the level of your success and the success of those who work around you. Leadership can be taught. Leadership is not an exclusive club for those who were born with it. The traits that are the raw materials of leadership can be acquired. Link them up with desire and nothing can keep you from becoming a leader. This book will supply the leadership principles, but you must supply the desire. Leonard Ravenhill in the last day's newsletter tells about a group of tourists who were visiting a picturesque village. As they walked by an old man sitting beside a fence, one tourist asked in a patronizing way, "Were any great men born in this village?" And the old man replied, "Nope, only babies." So leadership is developed, not discovered. The truly born leader will always emerge, but to stay on top, natural leadership characteristics must be developed. In working with thousands of people desirous of becoming leaders, I have discovered they all fit in one or four categories or levels of leadership. First one is the leading leader. He is born with leadership qualities. He has seen leadership modeled throughout life, has learned added leadership through training. He has self-discipline to become a great leader. But there is a note: 3 out of 4 of these qualities are acquired. The second one is the learned leader. He has seen leadership modeled most of life, has learned leadership through training, has self-discipline to be a great leader, and all 3 qualities are acquired. The latent leader has just recently seen leadership modeled, is learning to be a leader through training, has self-discipline to become a good leader. All 3 qualities are acquired too. And the limited leader has little or no exposure to leaders, has little or no exposure to leadership training, but he has desire to become a leader. All 3 can be acquired. So now that was only the introduction of the first chapter, and now I'll just go through the chapter 1, and that's the definition of leadership and basically about influence. So everyone talks about it and few understand it. Most people want it, a few achieve it. There are over 50 definitions and descriptions of it in my personal files. What is this intriguing subject we call leadership? Perhaps because most of us want to be leaders, we become emotionally involved when trying to define leadership. Or perhaps because we know one, we try to copy his or her behavior and describe leadership as a personality. Ask 10 people to define leadership and you'll probably receive 10 different answers. After more than 5 decades of observing leadership within my family and many years of developing my own leadership potential, I have come to this conclusion. Leadership is influence. That's it. nothing more and nothing less. My favorite leadership proverb is, "He who thinks he leaded and had no one following him is only taking a walk." James C. George of the PAR Training Corporation said it quite effectively in a recent interview with Executive Communications. What is leadership? Remove for a moment the moral issues behind it, and there is only one definition. Leadership is the ability to obtain followers. Jesus of Nazareth, Martin Luther King Jr., Winston Churchill, and John F. Kennedy all were leaders. While their value systems and management abilities were very different, each had followers. Once you define the leadership as the ability to get followers, you work backward from that point of reference to figure out how to lead. Therein lies the problem. Most people define leadership as the ability to achieve a position, not to get followers. Therefore, they go after a position, rank, or title, and upon their arrival, they think they have become a leader. This type of thinking creates two common problems. Those who possess the status of a leader often experience the frustration of few followers, and those who lack the proper titles may not see themselves as leaders and therefore don't develop their leadership skills. Insights about influence. Everyone influences someone. Sociologists tell us that even the most introverted individual will influence 10,000 other people during his or her lifetime. This amazing statistic was shared with me by my associate Tim Elmore. Tim and I concluded that each one of us is both influencing and being influenced by others. That means that all of us are leading in some areas, while in other areas we are being led. No one is excluded from being a leader or a follower. Realizing your potential as a leader is your responsibility. In any given situation with any given group, there is a prominent influencer. Let me illustrate. The mother may be dominant influencer over a child in the morning before school begins. Mom may choose what to eat and what to wear. The child who is influenced before school may become the influencer of other children once school begins. Dad and mommy meet at the restaurant for lunch and both be influenced by the waiter who has just the house specialty. The time dinner is served in the evening may be set because of either the husband's or wife's work schedule. The prominent leader of any group is quite easily to discover. Just observe the people as they gather. If an issue is to be decided, who is the person whose opinion seems most valuable? Who is the one others watch the most when the issue is being discussed? Who is the one with whom people quickly agree? Most importantly, who is the one the others follow? Answers to these questions will help you discern who the real leader is in a particular group. We never know who or how much we influence. The most effective way to understand the power of influence is to think of the times you have been touched by the influence of a person or an event. Big events leave marks on all our lives and memories. For example, ask a couple of people born prior to 1930 what they were doing when they heard that Pearl Harbor had been bombed, and they will describe in detail their feelings and surroundings when they heard the terrible news. Ask someone born before 1955 to describe what he or she was doing when the news that John F. Kennedy had been shot was broadcast. Again, you will find no loss for words. A similar response occurs with the younger generation when asked about the day the Challenger blew up. These were big events that touched everyone. Think also of the little things of people who influenced you in a powerful career choice. I think of my seventh grade teacher, Glenn Liderwood, the bubble lights on our Christmas tree that gave me the Christmas feeling every year, the affirming note I received from a professor in college. The list is endless. Life consists of influences who are in our way. J.R. Miller said it well. There have been meetings of only a moment which have left impressions for life, for eternity. No one can understand that mysterious thing we call influence. Yet every one of us continually exerts influence, either to heal, to bless, to leave marks of beauty, or to wound, to hurt, to poison, to stain other lives. This truth also sobers me when I realize my influence as a father. A friend gave me a plaque with this poem on it. Now it sits on my desk. It's called The Little Chap Who Follows Me. A careful man I want to be. A little fellow follows me. I don't dare to go astray for fear he'll go to the self same way. I cannot once escape his eyes. Whatever he sees me do, he tries. Like me, he says he's going to be that little chap who follows me. I must remember as I go through summer suns and winter snows, I'm building for the years to be that little chap who follows me. So the best investment in the future is a proper influence today. The issue is not whether you influence someone. What needs to be settled is what kind of an influencer you will be. Will you grow into your leadership skills? In the book Leaders, Benny and say, the truth is that leadership opportunities are plentiful and within reach of most of people. You must believe that. The rest of this chapter is committed to helping you make a difference tomorrow by becoming a better leader today. Influence is a skill that can be developed. Robert Dellenschneider, the CEO of Hill & Knowlton, a worldwide public relations agency, is one of the nation's major influence brokers. He skillfully weaves his persuasive magic in the global arena where governments and the mega corporations meet. He wrote a book entitled Power and Influence, in which he shares the idea of the power triangle to help leaders get ahead. He says, the three components of this triangle are communication, recognition, and influence. You start to communicate effectively, this leads to recognition, and recognition in turn leads to influence. So there are 5 levels of leadership. Level 1 is position. This is the basic entry level of leadership. The only influence you have is that which comes with a title. People who stay at this level get into territorial rights, protocol, tradition, and organizational charts. These things are not negative unless they become the basis for authority and influence, but they are poor substitutes for leadership skills. A person may be in control because he has been appointed to a position. In that position, he may have authority. But real leadership is more than having authority. It is more than having the technical training and following the proper procedures. Real leadership is being the person others will gladly and confidently follow. A real leader knows the difference between being a boss and being a leader, as illustrated by the following. The boss drives his workers, the leader coaches them. The boss depends on authority, the leader on the goodwill. The boss inspires fear, the leader inspires enthusiasm. The boss says I, the leader says we. The boss fixes the blame for the breakdown, and the leader fixes the breakdown. The boss knows how it is done, and the leader shows how it's done. The boss says go, and the leader says let's go. The characteristics of a positional leader are that security is based on a title, not a talent. The story is told of a private in World War I who shouted on the battlefield, "Put out that match," only to find his sergeant that the offender was General Blackjack Pershing. When the private who feared severe punishment tried to stammer out his apology, General Pershing patted him on the back and said, "That's all right, son, just be glad I'm not second lieutenant." The point should be clear. The higher the person's level of true ability and the resulting influence, the more secure and confident he becomes. This level is often gained by appointment. All other levels are gained by ability. Leo Darco was coaching at first base in an exhibition game the Giants were playing at West Point. One noisy cadet kept shouting at Leo and doing his best to upset him. "Hey, Darco," he hollered, "how did the little skirt like you get into the major leagues?" Leo shouted back, "My congressman appointed me." People will not follow a positional leader beyond his stated authority. They will only do what they have to do when they are required to do it. Low morale is always present. When the leader lacks confidence, the followers lack commitment. They are like the little boy who was asked by Billy Graham how to find the nearest post office. When the lad told him, Dr. Graham thanked him and said, "If you'll come to the convention center this evening, you can hear me telling everyone how to get to heaven." "I don't think I'll be there," the boy replied. "You don't even know your way to the post office." So positional leaders have more difficulty working with volunteers, white collar workers, and younger people. Volunteers don't have to work in the organization, so there is no monetary leverage that a positional leader can use to make them respond. White collar workers are used to participating in decision making and recent dictatorial leadership. Baby boomers, in particular, are unimpressed with symbolism of authority. Most of us have been taught that leadership is a position. Frustration rises within us when we get out into the real world and find that few people follow us because of our titles. Our joy and success in leading others depend on our abilities to keep climbing the levels of leadership. Level 2 is permission. Fred Smith says, leadership is getting people to work for you when they are not obligated. That will only happen when you climb to the second level of influence. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Leadership begins with the heart, not the head. It flourishes with a meaningful relationship, not more regulation. Leaders on the position level often lead by intimidation. On this level, time, energy, and focus are placed on the individual's needs and desires. A wonderful illustration of why it's so critical to put people and their needs first is found in the story of Henry Ford in Amitai Etzioni's book, Modern Organizations. He made a perfect car, the Model T, that ended the need for any other car. He was totally product-oriented. He wanted to fill the world with Model T cars. But when people started coming to him and saying, "Mr. Ford, we'd like a different colored car," he remarked, "You can have any color you want as long as it's black." And that's when the decline started. People who are unable to build solid, lasting relationships will soon discover that they are unable to sustain long, effective leadership. Needless to say, you can love people without leading them, but you cannot lead people without loving them. One day, one of my staff members, Dan Rayland, shared an insight with me that I have never forgotten. If level 1 position is the door to leadership, then the level 2 permission is the foundation. Caution. Don't try to skip a level. The most often skipped level is level 2 permission. For example, a husband goes from level 1 position, a wedding day title, to level 3 production. He becomes a great provider for the family, but in the process, he neglects the essential relationship that hold the family together. The family disintegrates, and so does the husband's business. Relationships involve a process that provides the glue and much of the staying power for long-term consistent production. Level 3 is production. On this level, things begin to happen, good things. Profit increases, morale is high, turnover is low, needs are being met, goals are being realized. Accompanying this growth is the big momentum. Leading and influencing others is fun. Problems are solved with minimal effort. Fresh statistics are shared on a regular basis with the people who undergird the growth of the organization. Everyone is results oriented. In fact, results are the main reason for the activity. This is a major difference between levels 2 and 3. On the relationship level, people get together just to get together. There is no other objective. On the results level, people come together to accomplish a purpose. They like to get together, but they love to get together to accomplish something. In other words, they are results oriented. One of my favorite stories is about a newly hired traveling salesman who sent his first sales report to the home office. It stunned the brass in the sales department because it was obvious that the new salesman was ignorant. This is what he wrote. I seen this outfit which they ain't never bought a dim's worth of nothing from us, and I sold them some goods. I'm now going to Chicago. Before the man could be given the heavy hoe by the sales manager, along came this letter from Chicago. I came here and sold them $500,000. Fearful if he did, and afraid if he didn't fire the ignorant salesman, the sales manager dumped the problem into the lap of the president. The following morning, the ivory-towered sales department members were amazed to see the post on the bulletin board above the two letters written by the ignorant salesman, this memo from the president. We've been spending too much time trying to sell instead of trying to sell. Let's watch those sales. I want everybody should read these letters from Gooch, who is on the road doing a great job for us, and you should go out and do like he done. Obviously, any sales manager would prefer to have a salesman who can both sell and spell. However, many people have produced great results who were not qualified. Now we come to level 4, people development. How do you spot a leader? According to Robert Townsend, they come in all sizes, ages, shapes, and conditions. Some are poor administrators, while some are not overly bright. There is a clue. Since some people are mediocre, the true leader can be recognized because somehow his people consistently demonstrate superior performances. A leader is great not because of his or her power, because of his or her ability to empower others, but because of his or her ability to empower others. Success without a successor is a failure. A worker's main responsibility is developing others to do the work. Loyalty to the leader reaches its highest peak when the follower has personally grown through the mentorship of the leader. Note the progression. At level 2, the follower loves the leader. At level 3, the follower admires the leader. At level 4, the follower is loyal to the leader. Why? You win people's hearts by helping them grow personally. One of the key players on my staff is Cheryl Fleischer. When she first joined the team, she was not a people person. I began to work closely with her until she truly became a people person. Today, she successfully develops others. There is a bond of loyalty that Cheryl gives to my leadership, and we both know the reason. My time invested with her brought a positive change. She will never forget what I have done for her. Interestingly, her time invested in the lives of others has greatly helped me. I will never forget what she has done for me either. The core leaders who surround you, you should all be people you have personally touched or helped to develop in some way. When that happens, love and loyalty will be exhibited by those closest to you and by those who are touched by your key leaders. There is, however, a potential problem of moving up the levels of influence as a leader and becoming comfortable with the group of people you have developed around you. You may not realize that many new people view you as a position leader because you have had no contact with them. The following suggestions will help you become a people developer. Walk slowly through the crowd. Have some way of keeping in touch with everyone. Level 5 is personhood. Little time will be spent discussing this level since most of us have not yet arrived at it. Only a lifetime proven leadership will allow us to sit at level 5 and reap the rewards that are eternally satisfying. I do this someday. I want to sit at top at this level. It's achievable. Climbing the steps of leadership, and here are some additional insights on the leadership levels process. The higher you go, the longer it takes. Each time there is a change in your job or you join a new circle of friends, you start on the lowest level and begin to work yourself up the steps. The higher you go, the higher the level of commitment. This increase in commitment is a two-way street. Greater commitment is demanded not only from you, but from the other individuals involved. When either the leader or the follower is unwilling to make the sacrifices a new level demands, influence will begin to decrease. The higher you go, the easier it is to lead. Notice the progression from level 2 through level 4. The focus goes from liking you to liking what you do for the common interest of all concerned to liking what you do for them personally. Each level climbed by the leader and the followers adds another reason why people will want to follow. The higher you go, the greater the growth. Growth can only occur when effective change take place. Change will become easier as you climb the levels of leadership. As you rise, other people will allow an event and even assist you in making needed changes. You never leave the base level. Each level stands upon the previous one and will crumble if the lower level is neglected. For example, if you move from a permission relationship level to a production results level and stop caring for the people who are following you and helping you produce, they might begin to develop a feeling of being used. As you move up in the levels, the deeper and the more solid your leadership will be with a person or group of people. So now we come to the conclusions of influence. We now have a blueprint to help us understand influence and how to increase. The blueprint indicates that in order to get to the top, you must do two things. And the first one is know what level you are on at this moment. Since you will be on different levels with different people, you need to know which people are on which level. If the biggest influences within the organization are on the highest levels and are supportive of you, then your success in leading others will be attainable. If the best influencers are on the highest levels and not supportive, then problems will soon arise. And the second one is know and apply the qualities needed to be successful at each level. Listed below are some characteristics that must be exhibited with excellence before advancement to the next level is possible. So on the level 1, position and rights. Know your job descriptions thoroughly. Be aware of the history of the organization. Relate the organization's history to the people of the organization. In other words, be a team player. Accept responsibility. Do your job with consistent excellence. Do more than expected. Offer creative ideas for change and improvement. And on the level 2, permission and relationship. Possess a genuine love for people. Make those who work with you more successful. See through others people's eyes. Love people more than procedures. Do win-win or don't do it. Include others in your journey. Deal wisely with difficult people. Level 3, production results. Initiate and accept responsibility for growth. Develop and follow a statement of purpose. Make your job description and energy an integral part of the statement of purpose. Develop accountability for results, beginning with yourself. Know and do things that give a high return. Communicate the strategy and vision of the organization. Become a change agent and understand timing. Make the difficult decisions that will make a difference. Level 4, people development reproduction. Realize that people are your most valuable asset. Place a priority on developing people. Be a model for others to follow. Pour your leadership efforts into the top 20% of your people. Expose key leaders to growth opportunities. Be able to attract other winners producers to the common goal. Surround yourself with an inner core that complements your leadership. At level 5, personhood, respect. Your followers are loyal and sacrificial. You have spent years mentoring and molding leaders. You have become a statesman, consultant, and are sought out by others. Your greatest joy comes from watching others grow and develop. You transcend the organization. Everyone is a leader because everyone influences someone. Not everyone will become a great leader, but everyone can become a better leader. Now, only 2 questions must be answered. Will you unleash your leadership potential? And will you use your leadership skills to better mankind? And on the last page of this presentation, John C. Maxwell made a little poem, and I'll just read it to you. He says, "My influence. My life shall touch a dozen lives before this day is done. Leave countless marks of good, ever sets the evening sun. This is the wish I always wish, the prayer I always pray. Lord, may my life help the others' lives it touches by the way." So I came to the Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm sorry, something happened with my computer, so
Okay, no worries. No worries.
I hope you liked it. I didn't stop because we can now talk, and I just hope you all understood me what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Well, Darko, I'll say something, right? First of all, it's not your language, English. Secondly, you volunteered and you said yes. So in my mind, that's the first quality of leadership, to actually volunteer and then to do something that's not your mother tongue is fantastic. That was fantastic. That's all I can say. It was really, really good. For the first time, I don't fault it in any way. So yeah, there's a lot to discuss on there. And before I open up to everyone, I'd like to just give a few people some insight into my background initially. I actually started in hotel management many years ago in the 90s. And being a leader in those days was ordering people about. That's what we were taught. So sometimes we've got innate things in us, things that have been taught by people and things that we actually feel ourselves. And I always felt there was a bit of a wrong way of management, the way I was taught. And I didn't realize I was picking up all these habits from people who are really not leading people in a proper way. They use the stick or they use the carrot. You know, you won't get paid this week unless you do this, or I'll take it out of your wages, or, you know, anything to do with all those different things. And it's amazing, really, through my hotel catering management courses I went on, it was always about forcing people to do things, and a lot of times against their will. You're working with people who work very long hours on very low pay, so consequently they're feeling upset and offended. One of the things I did while I was learning, because I went from management to become a chef, and I went back to college for 3 years. When I actually became a head chef, I always used to teach, and I loved it, teach the other chefs to do things. And some of them excelled, some of them became better than me. One or two of them went to work for famous chefs in the UK. You know, Mosselman's in Oxford was one of the ladies that I sent to work for him, and you know, very famous chefs. And one of the chefs I trained, he was a junior chef when he joined me. He became second chef and then became head chef elsewhere. And in the process of working for that company, I actually got made redundant. And guess what? The guy who employed me was the guy I trained. So he became my head chef. And isn't it great to be able to bring somebody to a level where they exceed yours? And they're so grateful for what you've done that they can actually take you on board with trust. He didn't even interview me. He said, "You've got the job, Derek. I want you. I know what you like. You've taught me to get to where I've got to. So now I want to help you get, you know, whatever you need." So it's important to understand with leadership that, you know, the one thing I have learned is that we're here to help others. And this organization is about helping others. And forget about yourself. If you think about yourself, you'll never succeed, because without helping others, you can't help yourself. You know, a wise man once, what's his name, Zig Ziglar said, when you help many to get what they want, you will by default get what you want. And you have to understand that. And that really is a powerful statement. Help as many as you can get what they want, and you will get what you want. And it doesn't matter if people overtake you. Get rid of that ego that gets you upset because somebody is going faster than you. You know, you need to be in a position where you're helping people to get wherever they want. Remember, you know, if one of your downlines starts earning 500,000 a year or something, you're going to get 20% of the people that you actually personally sponsor. But that's not the way you should be thinking. You know, you shouldn't be thinking, I can't wait till this person gets there. What you should be thinking is, I want them to get what they want. This is why I beat on about it. This is why I say, you know, find out what people want, need, or don't want, and then help them get that. That's the carrot that they need. That's the motivation they need. Without that, it's very difficult. Now, the other sign of a good leadership is how many people in your team are actually in the trainings. If it's a minimum of 20%, you're doing very well. If it's under 20%, there's a lot of work to be done. And that's what you need to be looking at. Those are statistics, by the way, that are used worldwide for all kinds of things. 20% will do 80% of the work in your team. And that's a fact. So always look at it. Look at the team. If you've got 10 people in your team here, I don't know how many there are today, 32. So 20% of 32, look at your team as a whole. How many of your team are here? Look at the people that are in your organization. And then if they're not 20%, then don't be despondent, because what you need to do is just work a little harder and learn from the people who are actually achieving that. I always look at these statistics, and if they're not where I want them, then I need to do a little bit more work. The leaders actually will spend more time with more people, helping them get what they want, than they will on themselves. They'll forego everything. You know, I know, for example, Volker will at a moment's notice come into my team to help me, and other people, and we work really well together. You know, you've got to be prepared to just put your hat down and say, right, okay, let me get where I need to be. Be prepared to help where you can help. You know, start getting into these trainings and start doing the presentations and things, because that'll give you a skill that you'll never, ever not need in your life. And forget about what we learned through self-development here for this business. The self-development will help you in life, in every relationship you've got. You know, it's really, really important. I don't think guys appreciate that these sort of organizations, if they have the proper self-development training, like the 5 a.m. club we have, the leadership skills, the getting started, all these are skills that people can be involved in. And the people who get involved the most are the ones who are going to grow the most. You know, that's the end of story. So what I like to do now is open up, and I see a few hands up already, so I'll move as I go down. So Colin, let's have a word from you.
Hi. All hear me okay? Well, first of all, Darco, what a great job. Fantastic. Well done, guy. It's really good for your first time. Excellent job, mate. So, yeah, leadership, going back to leadership, it's, it can be misinterpreted, you know, leadership, management, you know, people get confused with those sometimes. And I think that the book you were you were so eloquently relaying to us there, Darco, is kind of a lot of that is kind of related in some ways to corporate world, you know, organisations and such like. There's an extra facet or an extra compound to our type of business where each individual is not in a job. They don't have managers, so we have to be extra honed in on those leadership skills. Now, you know, no great leaders ever had gathered followers before they became a leader. Okay, Martin Luther, Jesus Christ, Gandhi. They were leaders and acted like leaders before they ever got followers. That's how they got followers. So that's one really important thing to remember. So you have to act like a leader before you become a leader, before you get followers. And that happens with your attitude, things you do. And as Derek has already mentioned, you know, the greatest leaders ever in history were the greatest servers of people. And that's a fact, you know, so you need to uplift people and take your eyes off of yourself and serve other people. That will develop your character as a leader, and you'll become a leader. You have to earn respect, and respect is something that's earned. It's not demanded. So, you know, when you're in a corporate world, you know, people demand respect by their position. You mentioned that, you know, that one of those levels of leadership position. Well, that's not really leadership. That's you're put in a position of management, if you like, and people have to do as they're told, and that's not leadership, you know. So in this business, nobody's in there to have another job or be, you know, do as they're told. So we have to develop our skills to help people, and some of that, you know, and it's probably sidetracking a bit here, and I could speak on this subject all day, but you know, some of those skills that develop, you know, never criticise, complain, or compare. That means, you know, you don't compare to others. And Derek's already mentioned this about, you know, if you see people running fast when you're not, or somebody else in your organisation is not, you can't say to one, look at him, he's doing so well, because that makes that person feel inadequate, and it will stop them. So, you know, it's having these skills and take certain things out of your conversation, like I, me, mine. You know, look what I've done. Those don't work. You know, I've seen people in organisations which Derek and I've been in before, you know, who've built, you know, quite good self-sizable teams. But I looked at some of those people and I thought, you know what, how big would their team be if they just took out those I, me, mine out of their conversation? Because they don't know what they're missing. Yes, they may have a level of success, but they've missed out on a lot because they haven't developed those leadership skills properly. And concentrated on that. So I don't want to say any more. I can talk a whole evening on the subject, but I think I'll best leave it for other people to have a word. So thank you, Darco. Fantastic job. And I'll let. I think Debbie's up next. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. That's really good insight. And I know you as a leader. I know that in past in Namway you had a big team as well. And you know, Colin speaking from experience. Guys, looks like this is a good way of doing things. If you want to say anything, just raise your hand and I'll be able to go through each person as we go through. So Debbie, yes, like to have your say in what we're doing.
Well, I've been working in a spiritual context for many years as a spiritual medium. So for me, you're helping others. And you earn respect by serving others. So whatever you give out, you get back, and that's how I think a leader should operate. You know, and just caring about people, helping people, look at their situation. I had a person just text me there that he's not got the money at the moment, he's broke, and I said to him, well, I can fund you, or I can look at you know, getting your membership and get you started. You know, and then he has that, you know, to make money for himself and income, you know, to get them started and stuff. So it's about helping people. For me personally, it's about helping people to get where they want to be, you know, and it's to help people, really. That's why I'm here doing this, you know. Be the light in the world, you know. We need as much people as possible and help them financially in whatever way we can, you know. So yeah, that's it, really. That's what I think.
Oops, I cut you off too early, Debbie. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, you're so right, Debbie. Do you want to say any more? Hold on, let me just find you. Where are you? There you go. You're unmuted. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you, Debbie.
You hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Yeah, we hear you.
Like Jesus, you know. Obviously, I'm a very spiritual person, so and I always follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. So it's like you have to help others. You know, we are all part of the same, you know, big people. We were all created, you know, so we're all part of helping each other. That's why I think to move into this new world we're moving into, the financial side of it as well and everything else, we have to stick together, you know, and build people up and help them make a decent life for themselves, you know, and be free, have financial freedom as well, you know. And that's it, really.
Thank you. Debbie, yeah, no, I completely understand that. And by the way, guys, you know, Debbie's building a phenomenal team, and the people come in. You see, this is part of being a leader. If you're able to actually do a proper invitation, do a proper setup, you know, big up your person who's actually coming in to do the presentation for you, or talk to your people. It's amazing how easy it is then to bring them in. It's not a question of trying to convince people. It's not a question of, you know, they're set up so perfectly that they just come in. Okay, this is the person that's joining. Debbie will bring them in, and next minute they're signing up. And we're signing up a few people every few days. So well done, Debbie. Well done. And you've only been a short while, I think, only a couple of weeks or something. So it's very new. So yeah. Okay, Nicholas, my friend Nicholas, where are you? Okay.
Hey Derek, hey everybody, all the friends on the call. Just what I wanted to say, because I'm experiencing leadership from let's say like a short time, but the experience that I have is basically also down to relationship and caring. And a few mentioned caring. I heard Debbie talking about caring as well, but you're I love the definition that Darco shared, and by the way, thanks Darco for everything. But the as leadership, the capability to get followers. So you don't get followers, you actually attract, or you earn in a way. Is that like for the value that you bring, for the level of caring, and that's all relationship. The relation didn't come too much in the text in the training. Right now it was coming, I guess, in a form of communication and recognition. This like relationship is all behind this, but so in my simplification, it's just like caring and relationship building and value. So yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, I love to give. That's something that I've always felt, and now it's coming back in some form I don't yet understand. But that's super cool. Well, that's all. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thanks, Nicholas. And honestly, to be honest, I remember you from the beginning, Nicholas, and I realize this is all new to you. The leadership thing is very new to you, and I also realize that, and it's great to see you evolving into the position and understanding. Your level of understanding is very, very good. Thank you, Nicholas. Okay, so Suresh, I'll just unmute you. You have something to say?
Well, very interesting. Thanks for everyone's input.
By the way,
guys.
have you got no video? We're looking at a dark shadow there.
Can you see me?
Yes, we see you now. Thank you. Can see your smile.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a real testimony as a leadership, how much we can give. This is a real story happened in England. So you may be aware about the who invented the vaccination for malaria drug. Alexander Fleming. He's a Scottish guy. His father is a farmer. One day when they're doing farming in Scotland, a black muddy pond, there's a noise coming up from that pond. And then there's a hand was raising up. There's a boy, little boy going in and coming out, going in, coming out. That boy is Winston Churchill. And then Alexander Fleming dad saved him and bring it back to home. And then the following day, in a big chariot with a full of gift arrived to Alexander Fleming house. And his father looked at what is this? And then he asked, you saved my son, Randolph Churchill. He brought all the good things for his family. And then he said, I'm not going to take anything. I just give a little help. That's it. I did. I saved your son. And then suddenly Alexander Fleming is crossing in the house. And then who is that little boy? It's my son. Okay, do you want to? You don't need to take my gift, but I will give you something to you. What? My son is studying in private school in London. Can I put your son in the same school? What's the deal? And then he agreed. And then Alexander Fleming and Winston Churchill both studied in the same school. Winston Churchill became a politician, and Mr. Fleming will become Alexander Fleming will become a scientist, and he's joining the Queen's Medical College. And whatever the drugs he invented, that is the drugs. When Randolph Churchill becomes sick, due to malaria, and is paid back. it's paid back. So that's why
Right.
we need to give as much as possible without any expectation. We will measure back, and more than that, definitely. I truly believe that that's very, very a lifeline statement, and that's we keep every day. Our life will be all right.
So true. That is so true. Thank you, Suresh, for sharing. And guys, yeah, that's something I've always believed in. You know, give, and don't expect. Don't expect a return. If you don't expect a return, you'll be amazed how much comes back. I really believe that truly. Don't ever expect anything for what you give. Just give freely and wantingly, and just give. And the more you give, the more will come back. And that's so true, because I've been there. I've been to a place where I thought I've given so much, I haven't got any more to give. And then I thought nothing's going to help me. And I was almost going into this wallow of self-pity. And then I realized, you know, it doesn't come back always straight away. Just because you're working hard now doesn't mean you're going to get something back now, but it will come back. And this is the key to giving. If you give and give and give till it hurts, you'll be surprised. It will come back. It's not always in the time frame you want, though. This is really important. There's always lessons to be learned. I've learned so many lessons in the last 15, 20 years. And it's through learning those lessons that you then start getting back. It's through learning those lessons that you free it up, I suppose. You know, the whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, everything, you know, comes together. And it comes together when it's right for you, not when you think it's right for you. And this is so important, because some of us think we're owed a life by God, the universe, everyone else. We're owed a life because we've had a hard life. But no, that's not the case. We have to actually be worthy of receiving that life. And in order to do that, sometimes we have to change. And the other thing also is in self-development, which is so important. You know, we have to change before we can change others. If we don't change ourselves, then we can't help others. And that's really important. And sometimes that change is painful, because you have to completely change your thoughts, your values, your whole way of life sometimes, just to move forward. And sometimes people hold you back. You know, the people we talk about, the 5 people who influence you the most, they hold you back, and sometimes you don't realize it. You know, I've been working with somebody for the last 25 years. She's in the business and she's doing very well, but she's not actually in the business as such. She's not showing herself not being in the business. She's a single mom of 4 children. I employed her at one time as well, but it's taken a long time for her to break away from the people that influenced her, a long time. And now she's done it. Her life is beginning to change quite dramatically. So hopefully one day she will speak to everyone. Hopefully one day there will be a story. But she's been through a lot of painful moments, and yeah, I won't go on to it, but it's a lot. And some women, unfortunately, and I do say this as women, not men, some women have to go through a lot with the men they meet, and it's abhorrent, really. It shouldn't be happening in this day and age. Men shouldn't be treating women the way they do. And it's something I feel very strongly about, and I'm involved and looking to involve myself with quite a few charities on that front. I feel that that's my purpose in life. And the reason I've come into this is because I will have enough money for myself, but there's a lot more money to be spent out there on making the world a right place, making the world a better place. And hopefully there'll be people here who can help us do that as well. So who's next? Volker, how about you? Do you want to say something? Let me just, I forget you're there. Our leader. Volker, there you go.
Hi, thank you for that, Derek. Yeah,
Thank you.
totally agree with everything you've just said. Absolutely everything. If we do this, if everything you do, if you share it with love, and if you give and give and give, the universe will pay you back in its own time. You have to wait, and nothing comes easy. You have to work at it, and it's all about trying to be a better person, and it goes back to self-development and everything else. So yeah, 100% agree on everything you just said there, Derek. Darko, that was brilliant. Thank you. As Derek said as well, to do that in a different language to your own, you're obviously Serbian. Your English is very good. I can't speak one single word of Serbian, so don't ask me to try and do a presentation in Serbian. So that was excellent. Well done, especially for your first time as well. So thank you for the contribution. We appreciate you, as we do everybody else that's stepping up, and I'm sure lots more people will step up in the future. To be fair, this is all new to me too. I mean, I'm coming out of my comfort zone. Derek knows, he's known me for years. I've never done anything like this in the past. Just like Derek has mentioned in his past, I would never have come on a video call. Not before April, I wouldn't have come on a video call. So we're talking a few months ago. I was reluctant to pick up a phone and talk to people because I feared that they might say no to me, and I didn't want to be anybody to say no to me. And I thought they might think I was trying to scam them, and I'm not trying to scam anybody. So I feel I've come a long way in a matter of months, and I'm sure I've still got a long way to go on this journey to become a better leader. But all we can do is do our best, keep trying to improve ourselves, and share with love. There's something else you touched on there, Derek, the universe. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in it. You mentioned at the end about the charity work, and again, I think we're very much aligned in that, and I'm sure there's quite a few people in this call that are too. I seem to be touching base with so many spiritual people at the moment that are coming into Hyperfund and joining Hyperfund because of their spiritual awareness, where they're at right now, what's going on in the world, and what they see for the future. This opportunity, I can't explain it, but it almost feels like it's been put together just for this one purpose: A, to help humanity, to get them out of debt and to change their lives, and to make the world a better place. It really feels like it's come together for that purpose. There's so many people I'm now meeting that are getting involved that want exactly the same things. And we have the power to do that. And this is why I'm loving it so much, because it's not just about making money. Yes, at the beginning, everybody wants to become financially free. But once you reach that point and you realize that you don't have to worry about it anymore, it's more about what more can we achieve. The more people we can help to do this, the better. But think about everything over and above that. Once you've reached your goals and the additional income that you're going to have, the additional funds, what can we do with that? Just changing one life. If every human being could just change one life on this planet, what a difference we'd make. And wow, my mind's blown because of what I can see coming in the next year or two. There's a lot we can change. The amount of people coming together in this, we can all do our own thing, but there's people I'm sure will be in allegiance with each other, traveling the world and making a change here, there, and everywhere. And it will. I honestly believe it will be a better place for it. We need to just get rid of some of the psychopaths running the planet, but that's another story altogether. Let's do what we can physically do. Yeah, make the world a better place, one person at a time. So yeah, power to you all for being here, and keep learning, keep putting yourselves outside your comfort zone, because you have to improve yourself. And there's nothing you can't achieve as human beings. Yeah, there's nothing that we can't achieve. You just have to believe in yourself, work on your own self-development, serve others, and it's limitless. The potential is limitless. So that's me, Dom. Huntley.
Thank you, Volker. And guys, understand this, just before I pass on to Huntley, you are on the winning road. There's no doubt that every single one of you is going to gain from this. Nobody is a loser. It's just time. You know, different people are going to have it at a different time. And going back to the leadership, what Darko was talking about today, it's about this self-growth, self-improvement. All of that will come into alignment with you and everything you want. We're all going to win anyway. You know, that's a fact. And as you start earning more from you know, hyperfund, you'll be able to put more funds back in if you haven't got enough people, etc., etc. You know, I'm in a position now where I don't need as much as I'm getting. So I'm actually able to help people in third world countries. Having that ability, I mean, just think about it. In May, I was worried about 20,000 debt and going backwards. And now I'm more worried about how many people I can help. I'm actually paying it forward in Africa at a phenomenal rate. You know, I heard that, you know, even Kalpesh is helping thousands of people now because he doesn't need, we don't need that much money. But again, what Volker was saying, this is a movement that is of such proportion that it's well beyond us. It's bigger than we are. And if you're only thinking about your own money and your own side, that's going to happen anyway. That's going to be taken care of anyway. If you begin to realize how big this is, you know, we're I think, are we at 1 million people, Volker? I'm not sure, or 500,000, something like that. We're at a lot. Sorry, just trying to unmute you again. I'm not sure what it is in terms of numbers.
The last count I heard, it was at least 500,000.
500,000. Half a million people. We haven't even started to scratch the scratch on the scratch. That's how early this is. And to be part of that at such an early stage is just phenomenal. You know, to be in. You guys are all leaders. You guys are going to have phenomenal sized teams. You all are. There's not a single person in this room that doesn't deserve it. There's not a single person that's not in the right place at the right time. So you will be there. So yeah, let me pass over to Huntley. Huntley, over to you.
Good evening, Derek. First of all, Darco, brilliant job, mate. Really, really good. For a first presentation, that's really impressive. Just sort of rewinding to what Volker was saying about the powers of the universe, etc. Yeah, that's really powerful. I'm going to suggest if people have got the time to actually sit themselves down and watch something called The Secret. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's all about the powers of the universe and positive thinking and how you attract that positive energy. And of course, that's all related to what we're doing now. Everything that we're doing is positive. Of course, we're coordinating as a unit and as a community. So if you get a chance, it's called The Secret. I believe it's on Netflix or Amazon. I think it was Netflix when I saw it. And it's really worth watching. And it really does inspire you and give you that feeling of some sort of, shall we say, positive energy. So everybody, if you get a chance, get onto Netflix, have a little look at that. There is a book, but of course, I actually watched the sort of the TV edition of it, as it were, and it's worth watching. So that's my part anyway.
Okay, thank you, Volker. And yes, it is a good book. If somebody wants to read it, I've read it, and I've also seen the film. It's phenomenal, really. Another thing, just basically on that itself as well, Huntley. Sometimes also we bring people into the business and they've actually at a different level to us, and we've got to bear that in mind. Sometimes people haven't got the same level of thinking, thought, etc. So sometimes you've got to be careful we don't overwhelm people with things. Sometimes we've got to make sure that we understand where people are, because it takes growth. And sometimes, you know, it's hard to explain really, but if somebody's not at the same level as you are, and you talk a language that's your language, they won't understand it. So we've got to be careful of that and also be aware of what other people are thinking and how they're thinking. And yes, some people come in with the needs first. Think about it, it's survival instinct. You know, in the old days, it was a hunter-gatherer. We'd hunt to gather food. And now we're trying to work to put food on the table. So it's important to understand also where people are in that nature, you know, how bad their finances are, how bad, you know, they're struggling. And until that bit is conquered somewhat, you know, it's hard to get people to believe that anything good's going to happen. So I think we need to also be aware of everyone in our team and where they are. It's important. We're not all at the same level all the time. So it's important to be aware of people coming into your groups, etc., and where they are. Just a couple of things that we don't want to do or be aware of, and it does happen. I've already seen it because we're quite big now. Some people will actually shield their people from everything. because they think that maybe they're not at the same level as or they don't think the same way as the leaders. They don't think about you know, the way we do things. It may be a bit foreign to them, a bit you know, unusual, I suppose, almost alien. So some people who've never been through this process of self-development actually look at it in a negative way. And then what happens is they protect their teams by saying, look, if you want to speak to any of my people, you've got to come through me, not fully understanding how much damage they're doing. And if you imagine all of us being the body of a person, it's like cutting the neck off and then expecting the rest of the body to continue surviving. You're actually cutting your team off completely, and the head isn't there to work. So it's important to keep your team plugged in. The reason why we talk about plugging into the presentation, plugging into the training, is because they will learn and develop. And you've got to do that at the beginning. It's almost got to be part process of signing up. You know, I'll say to people, are you coachable? I say to people, are you willing to watch at least one presentation a week? I always say to them, are you willing to watch one presentation a week and then come to at least one training a week? Because without that commitment, it's going to be very difficult for people to actually move forward. I know this because I've been building, and Colin and I have been building businesses for many years. And we understand the power of duplication, and we understand the power of the actual self-development and everything else. It is key to success. Even people like I've got, who I know he doesn't spend much time here, but we've got people like Jamie in Guernsey, who's also been in Amway. Unfortunately, his work commitments are very high at the moment, but there are many people who've been through this process of self-development and realize how impactful it can be on the people that you have brought in. You may not have the necessary skills to develop your people at this stage, so allow the system to do it for you. And it doesn't matter if your people get better. It doesn't matter if your person that you bring in 3 or 4 levels down overtakes you and starts running things. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's about developing people to the best of their abilities. And it's about us becoming the best we can possibly be for us. And then by being best for ourselves, we can then help other people. It's very difficult if you haven't got that in you. So it's important to understand. Okay, Jill, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, just a very quick comment on that. I would love people in my team to overtake me. It would greatly benefit me as well as greatly benefiting them.
Yep, no, that's so true, so true. And utilize the system for it, because the system will help them develop and grow. And again, some people might not even want to come into the training and the self-development and the 5 a.m., etc., all those sort of things. They will in time, because they'll begin to realize the importance, and until they understand the importance, or it might be that their ultimate dream or goal is not big enough. You know, when you have such a burning desire to achieve something very, very big, bigger than yourself, then you do whatever it takes to get that, you know, to get that knowledge, to get that belief level, to get everything that you need. I will admit that, you know, I sometimes find it challenging because I'm working with different time zones. I've missed the 5 a.m. twice. I need a slap on the wrist. But I'm working in Australia 1 minute and then America the next, and I'm losing track of time. But I have been told by my wife I've got to be careful about that. And yes, I agree totally. I can't burn the candles at both ends. I've got to be mindful of that as well, because then I won't be any good for anyone. So it's important. So anyone else want to comment, say anything, add something? Anyone at all? Who else have we got in the group? Ross, do you want to say something? Shall I let you say a few words? The usual culprits. Here we are. Where are you, Ross? I'll find you in a minute. There you go.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Marvelous. That's super. No, brilliant. Well done, Darco. That's superb. Spot on job. Well done, chap. One thing I sort of thought about when we're all talking about this is that the contrast between leadership and managers in jobs. Now, there's some fantastic managers out there, obviously, and there's a lot of people that really love their jobs. However, we're working, and I really agree with Colin when he said servant-driven, you know, servant-driven leadership is a way forward. You get to earn the respect. And we are all, after all, volunteers. We don't have to be here. We're not here to get a wage at the end of the month. But one contrast is that how many people hate their job? They get up every morning. They probably get up later than 5 in the morning, and they, oh no, not another day. They get in their cars, they go to work. They really don't like their boss or what they have to do. It might be a bit sort of mundane, and they're doing their job mindlessly to get a paycheck each month, and they feel trapped and they see no way out. But we have a solution, because what we've got is so different. And we're all volunteers, and we're going to make a huge, huge army of volunteers. And I really agreed and loved what you're saying about, let's make this massive, let's make this huge, and it can touch as many people across the globe as possible. And I just love it. I just like getting onto the call in the morning. There's people from all over the globe, and it's marvelous. I love it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was a great share, Ross. I knew you'd have something to say. Okay, just Jamie's asking to speak. He has a bit of a problem with technology, so I'm going to see if we can help him get on here. Okay, Jamie, I've just asked you to unmute if you follow the signal. Great, we can hear you,
Hi.
Jamie.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, thanks, Eric. And yeah, he's right. I'm not good with technology, and also my internet's bad. So I really hope this holds. Derek mentioned me before because I work every night. Me and my partner, dance teachers, we weekends we're dancing, every night we're dancing. We can't get on here. If it wasn't for the help and support from Derek, Volker, Boris, everyone on this team, Nicholas, everyone's talked tonight, Darco, amazing presentation tonight. Thank you so much. You guys, together, we can make it. Anyone can make it. I came in minimum package in May. I'm not in Derek's lead or Volker's league, Boris' lead yet, but I'm moving on. I'm now earning more than I have done in years, thanks to this opportunity. It is incredible. Plug into the system, use the training, use every meeting you can, send people to presentations every night at 6:30. You can't beat it. If I can do it from our circumstances, I can tell you a lot more. I've been health challenged a few times, but I'll cover at another stage, right? But if I can do it, we all can do it. Plug into the system, use the system, work with the system. Guys, get up there, share your stories, comment on this, I'm joining in the training. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Boris. Thank you, Volker, for letting me share a few minutes.
Thank you, Jamie. And Jamie's also a hairdresser, by the way. He does that as well. So he does dance every night, dance every weekend, him and his partner. He's also a hairdresser, so he fits that in as well. And it was a challenge for him because of I'm sure he won't mind me sharing, but you know, because of COVID, they had to close it all down. Can you imagine how much difference that made to him? His income was suddenly stopped dead. He had to use up all his savings. He could hardly afford to get into Hyperfund. I remember when we first talked, it was a real challenge, and he did get in, and then he slowly brought people into the organization, and like he says, he's earning a lot now, and he's on the way to recovery from that, with challenges with his health as well. There's a number of people in the organization. You know that we have Debbie, the other Debbie who's in here tonight. I don't think who's having challenges with her mind, with the growth in her head. And you know, again, just keep her in your prayers. Honestly, she's an amazing woman. But I was just going to say, Jamie's had such challenges with his own health, and you know, he's not one to talk about it. But you know, I know where he was in hospital a number of times recently, and almost on death's bed. Really, I mean, seriously ill. We're talking serious illnesses. He has to take medication daily. He has to sleep with oxygen, you know, when he goes to bed. There's all kinds of issues that I'm sure one day he'll tell us. He's got it next to him there. If you can see the picture, he's got his oxygen next to him. So guys, you know, this should take away everyone's excuses. You know, when we've got people like that who are prepared to do so much with so little, you know, you begin to realize that you haven't got an excuse, especially if you got your health. You know, I'm so grateful for my health, having had 2 heart attacks now, and I know that I don't want to have a third one. I think I don't want third time lucky. I'm not going to go for that. Second is enough. And I decided to change my lifestyle, hence why I'm going to the gym every week, hence why I'm eating completely differently from what I used to. And I feel a lot younger now for it. So health is important as well as wealth. If you haven't got your health, you haven't got your wealth. So it's important to have both, really, you know, in balance. Okay, so Huntley wants to say something again. Anyone else besides the usuals? Let's go to Huntley first. Yes, I'll come back to you, Suresh. I'm doing in order of the hands raised. Huntley? Are you wanting to talk, Huntley, or was that hand raised from before?
Can you see me, Derek?
Yeah.
Sorry, my internet froze just for a second.
Okay, no problem.
No, I just wanted to kind of reiterate what you were saying just now about how everybody helping each other. We can't fail. Well, should I say we can't fail to succeed. All of us here will succeed. And just what Jamie was saying about how he's had the support from yourself and Darco and that. And I was just thinking about how one strand of cotton is very easy to break, but if you put 10 or 11 of them together, you try breaking them. And, you know, if we're those strands of cotton bound together, we can't be broken. So, you know, I just feel, you know, we're all going to succeed. And just, you know, from that, I just want to sort of put over the sort of positive aspect. So everybody, you know, when you get the naysayers and the dream stealers and all it's a scam and all that, disregard them. Just disregard them. Just think of this team here, and that will always pull you through. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Suresh, you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah, what I like to say is we used to have a little 15 minutes fellowship within Rolls-Royce. We pray for people who is suffering with health issues weekly, every week. So if I believe everybody in this group, we need to pray each other, support, help each other. If any kind of health issues, you can raise once a month, 15 minutes in kind of a team meeting. We can pray for them. Definitely the information, whatever we share, will be very confidential with high level of integrity. We never share with anyone, and we will pray for them continuously. This is the way we can able to support. And especially I thought about this morning, around about 3:30, I wake up, and I pray for Kalpesh, because Kalpesh have kind of we in a Christian environment, we call them anointing. He is the man like a Joseph. The Joseph is the only person have a visualize what's going to come in 7 years' time in the land of Egypt. A great famine is tried to hit. He is the one identified what need to be done to save the people and help the people. His idea worked, and the whole Egypt, not only Egypt, other part of around the surrounding countries came and have some food during the famine time. So that's the same thing he is doing at the moment. He's the one found that system, and then he's helping people. There's a dark time is coming. No one could operate that time. We will operate when we listen to him. So that's why I pray for him this morning. So this is so we could pray for everyone, volunteer. There's no any compulsion. There's no any force. You're willing to pray. Let's give a couple of prayer points. Whoever wants to share, and we can pray 15 minutes. Absolutely.
I think Suresh, you've just volunteered to start.
Yeah,
the
I
prayer
will do
group.
that. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah,
I'll let people. You can just put it into the group, and if people want to join you, that's fine.
absolutely.
And it can be an optional thing that people come
It
in
is
when they're
optional.
not
Yeah,
here.
optional. Yeah.
So go ahead and start. Yeah, I don't mind. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
very
pray for
much.
helpage and pray for all our leaders today, because this is very important. Everyone's safety and travels, and there's so many things going on. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Suresh.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Anyone else before we close up? What's the time now? 21:27. Okay, I'm always conscious of time. I don't like overrunning. And everyone's got things to do, places to be, and then tomorrow's another day. We're nearly at the end of the month, by the way, guys. So I hope you've achieved your monthly goals that you've gone for. If you haven't, get with somebody to help you achieve them. You know, and we're here to help, but like I said, all the time. So any of you who need any help, do you want to have the last word, Volker? I'll let you have the last word because you're the leader.
Thank you for that. And my apologies for coming late into the room today as well. I'm feeling out of sorts today, but I'm here. I've taken some medication and I'm sure I'm going to be fully fit. Last thoughts, great leadership call. Great to see all you lovely people on here with your smiley faces. Can't say this enough. It's a beautiful journey. It's only going to get better. Yeah, it really is. So guys, stick to the journey, stick to your roots. Don't let anybody sway you off your focus. Share the heck out of this with love. And I look forward to seeing you all at the top. We will all be at the top. And the amount of lives we're going to change with this, honestly, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to next year, traveling the world and physically being on hand in different communities in different parts of the world, changing people's lives. And I'd like to see a few of you there with me as well. So look forward to it all.
Okay, thank you all for being here. And you know, the usual things this week are obviously the 6:30 presentations that Kalpesh does. Again, you know, I watch them on a regular basis because they do change. I don't know how many of you actually go on a regular basis. I think you need to at least watch one a week, minimum, because things are changing all the time. And going back to what Suresh was saying, if you keep your ears to the ground in terms of what's going on around the world, the economics, etc., there is a lot of stuff going to happen pretty badly in the economic side of the world, and we're in the right place to prevent some of that, you know, hurting us in a big way. So guys, yeah, just keep supporting each other, keep helping each other, and keep bringing new people, keep sharing it, you know, share with as many people as you can, because think about it, it's, I always say to people, look, you know, particularly the Africans that I've got in my team, I say, look, I've been blessed. And what I want to do is now is bless you. Do you want my blessing? That's what I've said. And 5 people have joined because of that. And, you know, I'm beginning to build a team in South Africa, in Kenya, in Uganda, in Zambia, in Zimbabwe, in Botswana now with Huntley. You know, we're actually getting through quite a lot of the African continent and also in Asia. So guys, this will grow beyond you. And it's amazing, really. You know, I was just thinking, I'm talking to somebody in South Africa the other day, $50 is a month's salary. I don't know if you can preach that, $50. So 6 times 6 months is a $300 package. 6 months work is a $300 package. That's, you know, when people do that and people say to me, you know, I haven't got the money. I appreciate they haven't got the money, but guess what? Some of them are actually saying to me, as soon as I get it, I'll pay you back. And I believe them. I talk to them and I work with them, and they're starting to bring people in. It's amazing. You know, there are different sectors within those countries, but sometimes you've got to go for, you know, helping people, and I'm able to help them. And that's what's good about this. So thank you everyone for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to carry on with obviously the leadership every week, and we're going to have a different speaker come in. The whole idea is to help you guys help yourselves and develop yourselves, help yourselves develop. So please keep on volunteering to help me with this, because at the end of the day, Volker, me and Boris can, and Nicholas, we just can't run the whole thing ourselves. We need people to help us run it and work with us. And that's crucial because, you know, as it's growing now faster than I can ever imagine, you know, I don't even know 3/4 of the people in my team now. That's how big it's grown. And I'd like to, but, you know, it's up to you guys to introduce me to fellow members in your team. You know, I can't meet them if you don't introduce me or Volker or Boris to them. We can't help them either. So it's important to get that connection going as well, even if it's just a chat. You know, Derek, I'd like you to, or Volker, I'd like you to come and chat to a new person I've just brought in, share a bit with them, find out what they're doing. And it's amazing how people can be motivated by talking to people in your upline. So, you know, do that more if you can. And we're here for you at the end of the day, you know. And thank you, Darco, once again. Fantastic presentation, and you're definitely leadership material in the making. So congratulations for today, and let's move forward, guys, and look forward to a bright Christmas maybe for everyone. I think nobody in this place should be suffering this Christmas. So it's not very far away. Okay. Good night, everyone, and see you soon. Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.